Morning. Here's day 294. We've got Matt 17 and Mark 9 on. This is a Blue Letter Bible app, Bible in a Year. And again, I'll just tell you, I start up every New Year's. So I'll restart this whole thing in Genesis on New Year's Day. So what we got, let's see, Matt 17. And after 6 days of Yeshua talking to Peter and James, John, and his brother, he bringeth them up unto a high mountain apart. So they left everybody else and went up on the high mountain, and transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as light. And behold, appeared unto them Moses and Elias, talking with them, and answered Peter and said unto Yeshua, Lord, is it good for us to be here? If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, one for Elias. And while he yet spoke, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Hear him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were so afraid. And Yeshua came and touched them and said, Arise, do not be afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man, save Yeshua only. And they came down from the mountain, and Yeshua charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. And when his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must be first to come? And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall be first to come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias has come already, and they knew him not. But they have done unto him whatever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. And the disciples understood that he spake of them of John the Baptist. And when they were to come to the multitude, there came a certain man kneeling down to him, saying, Lord, I have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic, sore vexed, and oftentimes falleth into the fire, and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. And when Yeshua answered them and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yeshua rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him. And the child was cured from that very hour. And then came the disciples to Yeshua apart and said, Why could you not cast him out? Why could we not cast him out? And Yeshua said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have the faith of the grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence, and yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goes out, but by prayer and fasting. So it takes prayer and fasting, understanding the power. They deny the power thereof. And while they abode in Galilee, Yeshua said unto them, The Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the 3rd day he shall be raised again. And they were exceedingly sorry. And when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, Doth not your master pay tribute? And he saith, Yes. And he was come into the house, and Yeshua prevented him, saying, What thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom and tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? And Peter saith unto him, Of strangers. Yeshua said unto him, Then are the children free? Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea, and cast the hook, and take up the fish that cometh up, and when thou hast opened the mouth, thou find a piece of money, and take and give unto them, and them for me and thee. So he goes and he pays this tax that was provided from a fish mouth. Okay, so he's not going to have to worry about the government and their taxes. That'll be provided because he's righteous. That would be, Peter explains this. No, Paul explains that in Romans 13. The righteous won't worry about what's going on with these folks in the government. Okay, won't have to worry about it. Do not fret. We've got bigger things to worry about. All right, now that is Matthew 17. Okay. Matthew 17. Hear him. Okay. We want to take all of these, everything he's saying. He speaks in parables. But you're going to have ears to hear. All right? He was just prior to that talking about dying to self. Okay? So that's going to take us to Mark 9. Okay? Mark 9. And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some that stand here today which shall not taste death till they have seen the kingdom of God come with power. Okay? Those disciples that couldn't cure that guy, that couldn't get the devil out of him, they didn't have the power. All right? We're going to get Yeshua taking the devil out of another guy, curing the spirits out of him, and he does so with the finger of God. It's going to come up here in another couple of chapters, I believe. But this Mark 9, it's a good example of these bad chapter breaks, okay? Because it starts out in 9, but what he's talking about, you have to go back to chapter 8 to understand that, verily I say unto you, that there be some that stand here which shall not taste death till they seen the kingdom come with the power of God. Okay, so they won't taste death till the day of judgment. All right. Right prior to that, in yesterday's reading, it ended with, For whoever will save his life shall lose it. But whoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's the same shall save it. Okay, whoever dies to self. Okay. If you don't die to self, okay, the day of judgment's not going to be a good place for you. Okay, that's going to be, if you do not die to self, you're going to be caught up, just like Peter was here, in the get behind me, Satan, for thou savorest not the things of God, but the things that be of men. Okay, he says that. Then he goes into telling them about dying to self. Okay, and taking up, it says a cross. That's staros. Okay, you take up that staff, staros, okay, a shepherd's staff. It gives him authority over the sheep. Okay. It's one of the things he used to beat off the wolves. Okay, so then we got chapter 9. But you have to, if somebody asks you a question in the Bible and they give you just one verse, you need to sometimes go all the way back to the prior chapter and read it. And then read that next chapter and sometimes the chapter following, okay, to get the understanding, okay? Some of these lessons are taught in 5 verses. Some of them take chapters. Some of it's the whole book is one story, okay? There's one underlying message throughout this book. And that's with a humble heart. He's looking for you to be able to tremble at his word. His word is what was proclaimed in the day of the assembly. That's his word. Only time everybody all heard. And you got to live it out. And then you got to help other people stay on the narrow path. That's the whole book. Just summed it up for you right there. Okay, so now, verily I say unto you, that some shall stand here today, shall not taste death till they see the kingdom of God come with power. And after 6 days, Yeshua taketh Peter, James, John, and leadeth them up onto the high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them. And his raiment became shining, exceedingly white as snow, so as not to fuller on the earth so as no fuller on earth can white them. And there appeared to them Elias with Moses, and they were talking with Yeshua. And Peter answered and said unto Yeshua, Master, is it good for us to be here? Let us make 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, one for Elias. And he wills not what they say, for they were sore afraid. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them, and a voice that came out of the cloud saying, This is my son, hear him. What does Moses say when he's prophesying about Yeshua? He says you need to hearken to that prophet. What does Peter say in Acts 3? Those that hear him. If you do not hear him, you'll be destroyed from among the people. With those that hear, let them hear. What did he give the people power to do? Okay? To let the deaf hear. Okay? Let the blind see. What are we supposed to spiritually do if you go out and you bring somebody the word? They're spiritually blind. You give them the word. Now they can see. They're spiritually deaf. They have hard heart. They're spiritually deaf. Now they can hear. If somebody's in sin and you transform them and make them anew, they've chosen life. You've raised the dead. If you believe in the power of God to transform you. And his raiment came shining exceedingly as white as snow, and there appeared. And Jesus said unto them, Moses, for which to say what they were so afraid. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them. A voice came out, Hear my son, this is my beloved son, hear him. And suddenly, when they had looked round about, and they saw no man any more, save Yeshua only themselves. And as they came down from the mountain, he charged them that they should tell no man of what they had seen, till the Son of Man be risen from the dead. And they kept that saying with them, and questioned one another what the rising from the dead should mean. So they've been out proclaiming the gospel, but they don't know what the rising of the dead should mean. Because the gospel is more than just the death, burial, and resurrection. Folks, the gospel was proclaimed from the beginning. And they asked him, saying, What shall the scribes that Elias must first come? And he answered and told them, Elias verily come first, and he restoreth all things. And how it is written, the Son of Man must suffer many things and be sought not. But I say unto you that Elias is indeed come, and he have done whatsoever they listed as it is written of him. And when they came to his disciples, they saw the great multitude of them and the scribes and the questioning them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him and saluted him. And he asked the scribes, What question ye with them? And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit. And wherever he taketh him, he teareth him, and he foameth and gnasheth his teeth, and pineth away. And I spake only to thy disciples that they should cast him out, and they could not. And he answered them, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? And bring him unto me. And they brought him unto him, and straightway with the spirit tear him. And he fell on the ground, and he wallowed, foaming. And he asked his father, How long ago since this came unto him? And he said, Of a child. And oft times it cast him unto the fire, and to the waters, and destroy him. And thou canst do anything. Have compassion on us, help us. And Yeshua said unto him, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. And straightway the father cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Help my unbelief. Unbelief is defined right here in the New Testament several times. When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the foul spirit, saying unto him, Thou dumb, deaf spirit, I charge thee to come out of him and enter and no more into him. And the spirit cried, a rent and sore came out of him, and he was as one deaf, insomuch said, He is dead. But Yeshua took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he was come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, Why could we not cast him out? And he said unto them, This kind can come forth by nothing, by prayer and fasting. And they departed hence, and passed through Galilee, and any man should know it. For he taught his disciples, and said unto them, The Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they shall kill him. And after he is killed, he shall rise the third day. But they understood not that saying, and were afraid to ask him. And he came to Capernaum, and being in the house, he asked them, What is it that is disputed among yourselves by the way? But they held their peace, for by the way they had disputed by themselves who should be the greatest. And he sat down, and he called the 12, and saith unto them, If any man desire to be first, that same shall be the last of all, and the servant of all. And he took the child, and set him in the midst of them. And when he had taken his arms, he said unto them, Whoever shall receive one of such children in my name shall receiveth of me. And whoever shall receive me receiveth not me, but him who sent me. It was his Father that had sent him. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he follow us not. And we forbade him, because he follow us. And Yeshua said, Forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. For it is not against us on our part. For whoever shall give you a cup of water and drink it in my name, because ye belong to Christ, verily I say unto you, he shall not lose his reward. And whoever shall offend one of these little ones, believe in me, better it forbe him that a millstone were hanged around his neck and were cast into the sea. And if thy hand offend thee, cut it off. For it is better to enter into life maimed and have two hands than go to hell and into the fire that never shall be quenched. Fire never quenched. Isaiah 66. 65 and 66? Somewhere in there. Where the worm dieth not and the fire is not quenched. And if thy foot offend thee, cut it off. It is better to enter thee into life than having 2 feet and cast into hell, and that the fire is never quenched, and that their worm dieth not, and the fire is not quenched. And if thy eye offend thee, pluck it out. It is better to offend thee into the kingdom with 1 eye than having 2 eyes and cast into hell fire, where their worm dieth not and the fire is not quenched. For every one shall be salted with fire, and every sacrifice shall be salted with salt. Every sacrifice better have conviction with it. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, if it doesn't have that conviction anymore, wherewith ye seethe, have salt in yourselves, have peace with one another. Where the worm doesn't die and the fire isn't quenched. Let's go here. Let's go see what we got here. Might have a dead battery here in a second. All right. Let's see here. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for the worm shall not die, and neither shall the fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring to all flesh. Who's he talking about right there? They that sanctify themselves and purify in the garden behind one tree, in the midst eating swine's flesh, and the abominations and the mouth shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. For I know their works and their thoughts, and it shall come, and I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send them the escape into the nations, and Tarnish, and Paul, and Lud, and draw the bow, and Tubal, and Jovan, and to the isles far off, that have not heard my name, neither have they seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations upon horses and chariots and litters and mules and upon swift beasts, and the holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord of the children of Israel, shall bring an offering in a clean vessel unto the house of the Lord. And I will also take to them the priests and the Levites, and say to the Lord, as for the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make remain before me, the Lord shall your seed be your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for the worm shall not die, and neither shall the fire be quenched. That's what Yeshua is quoting.